Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to start first by thanking the member, Mr. James Lim, for his support for the motion. I think listening to Mr. Lim, I think there is in fact common ground, and then there is a part where perhaps we have a slight difference of view. The common ground is it a good thing to do something to help developing countries? I think the answer is yes. Is it common ground that doing so would benefit countries in the region? I think the answer is yes. And I think also that insofar as this specific motion is concerned, since Associate Professor Lim has given his support, I think this motion, we can take it that he is in agreement and this particular issue is at rest. So the only question is, do we do more? And if we do more, the question is to what extent? And what the Associate Professor would like us to do is also to set up a Foreign Development Aid Agency. I think he even has thought of a name for it. It's called Sing Aid. Yes? Well, that was the name he attributed to it. So that's where the differences are, which is how much more and do you set up an agency for this. So on the question of whether or whether we should do more, and I think if I heard the member correctly, he also talked about systematizing it. If I remember correctly, that was the word he used. So I think the first thing I should do is to assure the Chamber and others that contributing to IDA or the World Bank Group is not the only thing that we do. What we do is we take a balanced approach. We look at what is commensurate with Singapore's size, and we enter into obligations that we can afford over the long run after the needs of Singaporeans are met. So, when we look at international contributions, we do more than just contribute to the World Bank Group. We have actually done so through various other institutions. So apart from the contributions to the World Bank Group, we also contribute to institutions like the Asian Development Bank, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and the International Monetary Fund. And that, in a way, takes care of the suggestion that it should be done in an institutionalized way, because what we're really doing is leveraging the systems, the administration, the infrastructure, and the reach of such international institutions. But we do more than that. Last year, Singapore contributed humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, as well as to the disaster relief and humanitarian efforts following the earthquake in West Java, Indonesia. And during the pandemic, Singapore contributed to the COVID-19 Vaccine Global Access, or COVAX, Advanced Market Commitment, or AMC, which helps support access to vaccines for over 90 low and middle-income countries. We also contributed vaccines to our neighbors as part of our commitment to tide through the pandemic collectively. More recently, Singapore became a founding member of the Pandemic Fund to enhance global pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. Beyond monetary contributions, we have also contributed our technical know-how, providing training for close to 150,000 foreign officials under the Singapore Cooperation Programme since it started 30 years ago. And late last year, we announced a sustainability action package at COP27 to support the capacity building needs of fellow developing countries on sustainability and climate issues. So you can see that, firstly, we do work with and through institutions to amplify our reach. We go over and beyond that, and we make direct contributions, but all of this is part and parcel of a balanced approach. As a small country, our resources are limited, and we have to make sure that every dollar counts. We will prioritize the needs of Singapore and Singaporeans, and in doing so, and using prudent fiscal management, we manage our resources well, which allows us to grow the funds, and there will be then space for us to contribute to the common good. So this is what we have done, and this is what we will continue to do. We also don't take our international financial obligations lightly, as they often have long durations, and we cannot always predict what economic conditions will be like and what our fiscal situation will be like. So if you set up a development aid agency, that is a very long-term commitment, and you need to be sure that you can carry this through. So whilst I appreciate the sentiment between the members' suggestion, one should also be mindful that we're a small country. We're constrained, we have limited resources, so our approach is look after our people. Where we have access, we give through institutions, we give directly, and we maintain some so that we can be nimble and flexible. We must also be realistic to understand with our small size exactly how much we could do by ourselves. We must also be careful of hubris. There is much that we can and should do, but we cannot do everything alone. And working with others allows us to amplify the impact of what we do. But that said, I thank the member for his support.
The question is that this Parliament, in accordance with Section 4.3 of the International Development Association Act 2002, resolves that an additional subscription of Singapore to the International Development Association of a sum not exceeding 70 million United States dollars be authorized for the purpose of the 20th replenishment of the International Development Association. As many as of the opinion say aye. To the contrary, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.